Attorney General William Barr Monday said that he agreed that a recent cyber attack on U.S. government agencies was committed by Russia. Over the weekend, President Trump suggested that China is to blame for the hack, but there is no evidence to support that claim. The president also used the security breach as an opportunity to further challenge the results of the presidential election. Paula Reid has the latest.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo this weekend attributed a massive cybersecurity breach to the Kremlin.
I think it's the case that now we can say pretty clearly that it was the Russians that engaged in this activity.
But just hours later, President Trump downplayed the severity of the incident and blamed China, tweeting, "There could also have been a hit on our ridiculous voting machines during the election." President's unsubstantiated theory defies the conclusions of experts inside and outside the government. Senator Mitt Romney said the president has a blind spot when it comes to Russia.
He doesn't want to recognize Russia as the problem they are and the extraordinarily bad actor they are on the world stage.
President-elect Joe Biden's chief of staff signaled the incoming administration could respond with its own offensive cyber actions.
Not just sanctions, it's also steps and things we could do to degrade the capacity of foreign actors to repeat this sort of attack.
But the current White House seems focused on fighting the settled results of the 2020 election. On Sunday, the Trump campaign filed an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court to reverse cases by Pennsylvania's highest court that changed mail-in ballot laws.
President-elect Biden's team has declined to comment on that Supreme Court appeal. Paula Reid, CBS News, the White House.
Charity Wright joins me now from Dallas. She's an expert cyber threat intelligence analyst at the cybersecurity company Recorded Future. President Trump is downplaying the breach, saying, quote, "The cyber hack is far greater in the fake news media than in actuality." But we're talking about key government institutions of the federal government. So how concerned should Americans be about this hack?
Well, I think everyone should be very concerned about this incident. We're talking about cyber espionage. And, typically cyber espionage serves the same purpose that traditional espionage does. We're talking about counterintelligence efforts to steal state secrets and disrupt our economy and our government.
And so delve into that a little bit more. What are some of the potential threats posed by a hack of this magnitude for an unknown quantity of time?
Yes. Well, we still don't know the full scope of this particular hack, and it appears that there are many victims in the government and in private sector. But what we're looking at is particularly what did these hackers look at and take? What kind of secrets are they stealing? What we know from the past is it really depends on which nation state is behind this particular incident. They each have their own state objectives, and they're going to try to steal state secrets and interrupt diplomacy and our economy however it suits them in particular.
And so what could these hackers possibly do with the information that they harvested? And do we know the breadth of the information that they got?
Right now, we don't know the breadth of everything that they have taken. The investigation is still ongoing, so we have yet to see. We have heard from a private sector security company called FireEye that some of their hacking tools were stolen. So that is one particular set of information that was taken. From the SolarWinds incident, which we're still looking at new incoming information, we're not really sure what exactly was taken. We're talking about several government agencies and several private sector companies that own all kinds of proprietary information. These could be used to conduct counterattacks, knowing what their security protocols are. This information could be used to produce new products or weapons. It really depends on what kind of information they're targeting in these attacks.
Yeah, we're also looking at critical infrastructure being hacked. The security breach is believed to have begun as far back as March, but it was only discovered this month. So walk me through this. How were these hackers able to go so long undetected?
Well, they're very sophisticated. We're talking about some of the best hackers in the world, the most advanced nation-state sponsored groups. So they're very well funded and they're very skilled. So the way that they do this is, in one particular part of this incident, is we know that they were able to gain access to the victims' networks and stay dormant before the malware actually showed itself. That is one way to stay undetected in victim networks. And so we're really seeing that once they were in the networks, they were able to hide their malicious code to make it look like the original code in that particular program. So it's very hard to detect this type of malware and these types of tools, especially because we're finding that they're using hacking tools that have never been observed before.
So security experts, virtually all of them, say that, all signs point to Russia. President Trump says that it possibly could be China, but there's no evidence to support that. What did intelligence officials have to do in order to determine where this hack likely originated?
Right. At Recorded Future, we still haven't really seen the intelligence behind the Russian attribution. So we're taking the word of, the intelligence officials and Pompeo that are stating that they think it's Russia. What they're going to be looking for is they're going to be looking at the tool sets, the infrastructure that was used to conduct these types of attacks. But not only that, they're going to be looking at the motivations of some of our adversary nations that have conducted attacks on us before. We're going to try to see the alignment between this attack and previous attacks and determine who is motivated, who has the intent, and who has the capability to conduct this type of attack.
So President Trump also went on to say that this hack could have impacted the presidential election. That assertion has not been backed up by any evidence. But is there any way this hack could have impacted the election at all?
We have no evidence that I've seen that indicates any kind of targeting on the election or the election infrastructure. So that information, we'll just have to wait for the investigation to be completed.
Yeah, well, there's certainly much more information to glean in the coming days and potentially the coming months. Charity Wright, thank you.